World Remit helped me give you the best start in life, even if I couldn't be there to see it. I know it wasn't easy comparing yourself to your friends, but the money I sent home meant that you could be right there alongside them today. I'm so proud to be your mother, almost as proud as you must be, now that you're starting an incredible new chapter.
Welcome to tonight's episode of Usapang Fil. Pipilitin po nating sagutin ngayong gabi ang tanong, kwarta o kahon? Dahil magpapasko na, kailangan may maipadala na o baka naipadala nyo na. Alin ba ang mas mainam? Peperahin na lang ba o kakahunin? Money remittance ba o balikbayan box? Tonight's show is supported by World Remit for fast, safe, and low-cost money transfers. Tuloy-tuloy na po tayo, samahan niyo po kami dahil may konting pakulo ngayong gabi. We will be posting questions about tonight's show and you can send your answers by email to info@pinoylife.net where the first correct answer will entitle you to a $50 money remittance gift certificate care of World Remit. Ako po si Godinez. I'm a U.S. immigration attorney and with me tonight is my co-host Noel Pangilinan. Noel?
Kumusta po kayo? Salamat, Chris. Welcome to tonight's episode of Usapang Fil. I am Noel Pangilinan. I teach Filipino language, Philippine history, and literature at the College of Mount St. Vincent in New York. And I'm also a senior editor at the Asian American Writers Workshop. Ngayong gabi, atin pong pag-uusapan ang kaugalian na natin na paborito nating ekspresyon ng pagmamahal para sa ating mga mahal sa buhay na nasa Pilipinas. Ang pagpapadala ng pera o ng mga balikbayan boxes. Meron po tayong tanong na gusto nating matugunan. Unang-una na, did the pandemic have an impact on our money sending or back shipping habits to the Philippines? Chris?
Well, sa usapin ng pagpapadala ng pera, ano ang pwesto ng Pilipinas sa global remittance industry? Did you know that the Philippines actually ranks fourth among the top countries receiving money remittances, just behind India, China, and Mexico? According to the World Bank, last year, 2020, total OFW remittances amounted to 35 billion. And the biggest chunk of remittances to the Philippines actually came from Filipinos in the US. $12 billion or one-third of that padala to the Philippines actually came from Filipinos in the United States. So, what's the big picture when it comes to balikbayan boxes, Noel?
Ganun pala. US pala ang pinakamalaking source ng remittance ng mga Pilipino papuntang Pilipinas. Anyway, sa usapin naman ng mga balikbayan boxes, tinatayang merong 10 milyong Pilipino na nagtatrabaho abroad o sa labas ng Pilipinas. And because of these 10 million Filipinos overseas, we expect 7 million balikbayan boxes every year to arrive in the Philippines. Pero sino-sino ang kausap natin ngayong gabi tungkol sa money remittances at balikbayan boxes, Chris?
Okay, tonight we have our special guests. Let's welcome Jess Arulraja. He's the market launcher for SendWave, an online money remittance service. Jess, would you want to greet our audience? Say hello, Carol.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. And I'm really glad that I'm here when you guys are talking about money remittance and the importance of money remittance for the Filipinos and for the Filipino economy. So I'm representing SendWave. So SendWave is an international remittance company. It's great to be here, Chris and Noel.
Thank you, Jesh.
Thanks, Jesh.
We also have Marcelino Wong. He's the proprietor of the cargo forwarder Sarangani Seaport, based in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Kumusta po sa mga taga Maryland? Mang Marcel, would you like to greet our audience, sir?
Kamusta sa lahat?
Okay. And we also have on audio our guest from Connecticut, Dora Coltsides. She's an active leader of the Filipino-American community in Connecticut, and she is an avid sender of balikbayan boxes. pwede bang bumati si Tita Dora?
Hello, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Dora Colchides from Stanford, Connecticut. I sent already 3 boxes from March until last month, and now I have another 4 boxes for Christmas. And
Ayan, ganyan ka-avid si Tita Dora. Okay, Tita Dora, pag-uusapan po natin yan ng maigi mamaya. Sino pang kausap natin, Noel?
Kasama natin ngayong gabi si Raymond Abog. Si Raymond ay he's the Remittance Director and Brand Ambassador of World Remit, who's one of our major sponsor for tonight. And Raymond has been in the remittance and cargo forwarding business for 20 years. He used to work for the ABS-CBN's Star Cargo and My Remit. So Raymond.
Hello. Thank you, Noe. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone. Good evening and good morning sa inyong lahat. Thank you for having me. So, nandito po tayo to represent World Remit at yung iba nating kababayan na nagpapadala ng pera sa Pilipinas. So, pag-usapan po natin kung ano yung impact ng remittance sa bansa natin at ang impact ng COVID sa remittance din. So, thank you very much again, Chris and Noe.
Okay. So, wala nang paligoy-ligoy pa. Pwede na nating simulan. Let's start our discussion about money remittance. So, first off, our question is Kwarta o Kahon, money remittance or Balikbayan box? So, for Filipino Americans, the choice usually depends on 2 things. Do we send Balikbayan boxes or money? Is it a matter of cost or convenience? So, Jesh, can you tell us about how money remittances measure up to these 2 criteria, cost and convenience?
Yeah, so in terms of money remittance, it has evolved over time, right? Now we have a lot of digital mediums, and especially because of the pandemic, a lot of digital mediums have evolved. You can easily and conveniently send money. It's just a touch of with your fingers. You can send via app, via website. So it has actually kind of drastically reduced the cost of sending money. And also a lot of players have emerged, and a lot of mission driven players have emerged in the market, and they are also kind of reducing the commission fee in sending money. So that also helping the diaspora in terms of sending money through digital mediums like app and websites.
Right. So technology actually makes it cheaper now to send money to the home country.
Exactly. And also with the pandemic, most of the home country, like our families and friends, right? And they are also kind of afraid to go outside to a shop to collect money, right? And this is also one of the reasons why they are sticking to these digital mediums, and how the growth or the hyper growth of digital mediums. This is the main reason, one of the main reasons, I would say.
Right.
For Raymond, I have a question. Yeah. During the pandemic, what changes did you see in the money sending habits of Filipinos in America, both in Canada and in the United States?
Yes. Thank you for that question, Noe. So, because of the pandemic, napabilis yung adoption ng mga Pinoys natin sa Amerika. Dito sa Canada and elsewhere, pag-adapt nila ng technology. Dati kasi yung mga kababayan natin pupunta sa tindahan, may ahente doon, brick and mortar na tinatawag, at magre-remit. And because of the pandemic, napabilis yung remit nila using app or web-based na application. So isa yun sa nangyari during the pandemic. And isa pang nakakamanghang epekto ng COVID is that hindi bumagsak ng malaki ang volume ng remittances papunta sa Pilipinas, lalo na from the US. So yun yung nakakamangha and dinify ng remittance yung mga ekonomista natin. Kasi yung mga economists, hindi nila na-predict na babagsak, hindi magiging resilient yung remittance. Ibig sabihin, despite the pandemic, slight lang yung decline ng remittance. So yun yung nakita na epekto ng COVID. So yung resiliency ng remittance, lumabas doon. In fact, yung mga remittances papuntang Pilipinas nung panahon ng pandemic 2019, 2020, ang ibinabalang niya is around 0.8%, wala pang 1%. And ngayon, the first 8 months ng 2021, lumago ulit. Nagpatuloy na lumago yung dami ng remittance papunta sa Pilipinas na nagpapakita na resilient yung mga workers natin, migrants natin, kasi despite the pandemic, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung pagpapadala nila sa atin sa Pilipinas.
Oh, that's good to know kasi ang unang impression is that because of the pandemic, bababa ang pinapadala sa Pilipinas, right. No? But what you're saying is that halos walang diferensya?
Yeah. Wala. In fact, nakita to sa pag-aaral ng World Bank, ng Brookings Institute, ng IOM, International Office of Migration, na based sa kanilang mga analysis, talagang dinify ng remittances ang pandemic. And sino ba yung nasa likod ng remittances? Ito yung mga migrants, risk takers. Kaya nga, yung COVID din, ipinakita na ang mga migrants or overseas Filipinos are drivers of global development. Yung iba tinatawag na silang economic frontliners. Kung may mga healthcare workers na tayo na talagang lumalabas para sugpuin ang COVID, ito tayong mga migrants o OFWs, tinatawag na silang economic frontliners kasi they rise up to the occasion because of their empathy, resilience. Alam nila na mas kailangan ng mga tao sa Pilipinas yung padala nila. So yun din ang nakita ng mga dalubhasa, ekonomista, na itong remittance tinatawag nila is counter-cyclical. Ibig sabihin, sa panahon ng pandemya, sa panahon ng mga difficult situation sa home country, lalo na sa Pilipinas, kinokontra ng remittance yung lohiko or logic behind sa pagpapadala.
Wow.
So yun yung nakitang effect ng pandemic. Although kailangan pa talaga ng mas rigorous na analysis, but initially yun yung lumalabas sa pag-aaral na because of remittances, ang sa likod nito, yung core phenomenon is human empathy and resilience. Hindi natinag yung pagpapadala ng pera ng mga migrante at mga overseas Filipinos.
Oh, Raymond, that's quite a statement. Our OFWs are hailed in the Philippines as heroes. And now, during the pandemic, they are considered economic frontliners because they did not buckle down. They continued to send money to the Philippines despite the fact that economic opportunities in the country where they're working have declined. And, the difficulties inherent in sending. So, what changes did you see in the money sending habits of Filipinos apart from the use of technology during the pandemic?
Well, during the pandemic, aside from the technology, mas continuous pa rin pagpapadala nila ng pera. Although sometimes mas maliit, pero predictable pa rin yung pagpapadala nila ng pera. And then, alam naman natin because of the pandemic sa US, Canada, or elsewhere, maraming nawala ng trabaho.
Yes.
So, despite nawalan sila ng trabaho, nakatanggap naman sila ng mga stimulus packages, mga support from host country governments. So, yung portion nun, or yung iba nga, pinapadala nila sa Pilipinas. And hindi lang to phenomenon ng mga sa Pilipino. Ito din ay nangyari sa ibang diaspora sa mga South Asians na nagpapadala ng pera papunta sa mga kanilang countries. So, yun yung na-discover natin because of the pandemic. So, hindi lang sa kawalan ng trabaho, kundi mas na-discover nga yung humanity, generosity, kindness, and empathy ng migrant sending people.
Wow. Jesh, I have a question for you. Earlier, I think you talked about, the development of money sending from before personally sending money, going to banks, right? Now, we're using phone apps, right? So what do you see is the trend going forward? Is there going to be an uptrend in using, transmitting money through your phone?
Yeah, I think the trend is going to continue because what really happens is like now convenience and safety are like two most important things right after the pandemic. So people want to kind of get access to the money immediately. So they would prefer these digital apps. And also, they can just, get hold of their funds immediately so that they don't have to walk out. And there are lots of lockdowns, right? You have these lockdowns all the time. And especially in Asian countries, still, not the entire population is vaccinated. So basically, the lockdowns can continue. Because of these reasons, I think the trend is here to stay. And also, mostly now what companies are also doing is just to how can they simplify the app, how the older generation can use this app, how can we make more accessible to different segments of the community. So these are the things that even we are always in the process of simplifying our app. We are not going to complicate the app. So I think, Noel, to answer your question, the trend is here to stay, and you will see mostly the community accessing through these digital apps.
Thanks, Jesh.
So I have a question for Raymond. A World Bank economist described global remittances as dollars wrapped with care.
Yeah.
So the actual amount, of course, is important, the actual amount of remittances. But other than that, what impact does it have on families, on the community, or on the country itself that's receiving these funds?
Yeah, Chris, yes, remittance is very crucial sa development. As I think you're referring to Dilip Rata regarding the dollars wrapped with care. So, remittance is very key sa pag-unlad ng isang bansa. In fact, in some countries, remittance is more than the total amount of foreign aid. Ganun kalaki. Yung iba naman, may mga pag-aaral din na yung remittance sa mga families na nakakatanggap ng remittance, mas mataas yung level ng education na naaabot ng mga beneficiaries sila. Yung ibang pag-aaral din sa impact ng remittance, mas mataas yung timbang ng mga anak nila. So in terms of nutrition, mas ganun yung effect ng remittance sa nutrition, development ng family and individuals. So yun yung nakikitang impact ng remittance. And in fact nga, moving up dun sa sinabi ni Dilip, may mga nagbibigay din ng konsepto na hindi lang dollars wrapped with care ang remittance. In fact, sinasabi nila, it's remittance with a soul. Meaning, ganun kalaki yung naitutulong ng remittance sa kapakanan ng family, communities, and country. Ito is pinakita nga, gaya ng binahagi ko kanina, yung effect ng COVID, binaliwala ng remittance, tuloy pa rin yung pagpapadala. Kaya yun, sinasabi nila, ang description nila is, it is padala na may kaluluwa, remittance with a soul. Kasi dinidefine niya yung mga odds na kinakaharap ng migrants and even yung recipients nila sa Pilipinas or in other countries.
Wow, that's good to know. Raymond and Jesh, can you share any stories, anecdotally, how money remittances made an impact to Filipinos back home?
Or to any community for that
Or
matter.
to any community, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can start. Basically, like, when we've launched the Filipino market, like Raymond said, we one of the reasons that we've launched for the Filipino market is to help the OFW, right?
Yes.
The thing is, like, the overseas Filipino workers are a part of our countries like US and Canada, and also they are the heroes in their home countries as well. So when you take when we consider the frontliners, we are not only thinking about the frontliners who are in Canada and US, but we are also thinking about the frontliners who are in the Philippines as well, who has really come together, and like Chris said, they've never buckled up, right? We had the luxury to stay at home, work remotely, but they didn't have these luxuries, and they had to report to their work every day, right? Without them, we would have suffered more as Asian or South Asian countries. So same way, when we launched the Filipino market, like most of their friends and families, when they had families and friends who were working as nurses, who were frontliners in Philippines. So they were trying to help them also, right, during the pandemic, just to support them more, because they are also kind of mentally and also physically really exhausted. So they wanted to kind of share those small moments with them. So especially during a birthday, they were trying to send money to their friends and family who were nurses, doctors, who were caregivers in the Philippines. So these these are the small moments that Sendwave was part of, and we are immensely proud of those moments.
Right. How about you, Raymond? Do you have any stories to share about what remittances did to a family, or in terms of impact?
Siguro yung ikabit ko ulit doon sa COVID kasi nakita din namin, it's not anecdotal but a very real story na yung isang nanay na retired nanay dito sa Canada, yun nga, nakatanggap siya ng support dahil sa gobyerno. So wala na din siyang maibigay dun sa family niya sa Philippines because of COVID, pero nag-dip siya dun sa savings niya plus kung ano yung nakuha niya sa gobyerno. So very real yung story na yun na pagbibigay dun sa Pilipinas. So that's one story. For World Remit naman, World Remit is supporting different advocacies, like not just in the Philippines but also in Africa, in terms of supporting the education of some communities in Africa. And in fact, aside from that, sa Pilipinas itinayo ng World Remit yung customer service hub niya. So it generated a lot of jobs sa Cebu City. So ganun yung impact ng company sa Pilipinas at ibang communities, especially sa Africa. So mga effect ng remittance sa Pilipinas and other diaspora.
Oh, amazing. So we will move the discussion towards the Balikbayan box. But before we do that, we'd like to thank our supporter, World Remit, for fast, safe, and low-cost money transfers. Your first 3 transfers are actually free. Go to worldremit.com and use the code 3FREE. On that note, we shift our discussion to sending Balikbayan boxes. Kahon. So Noel, you want to shoot the first question?
Before we proceed to the discussion of Kahon, meron tayong pakulo para sa episode na to, right? So meron kaming tanong, and if you could answer the question, email it to us at info@PinoyLife.net.
Yeah.
And yung the first correct answer will get a $50 worth of gift certificate from World Remit that you can send to your loved ones in the Philippines. Okay, the question. From what country is the biggest source of remittance to the Philippines? Anong bansa ang pinakamalaking pinagmumulan ng remittance sa papuntang Pilipinas? So, email lang ang inyong mga sagot sa info at PinoyLife.net.
Hindi ba ito multiple choice, Noel?
Multiple choice. Okay, so sige, para gawin natin mas madali. So, is it the US, Saudi Arabia, UK, or Hong Kong? Yeah, you have 4 choices.
All right. Okay, so moving on to Balikbayan boxes. Kakahunin na lang natin. So,
kasama natin ngayon, I see Dora Colcides na madalas magpadala ng mga balikbayan boxes. At sabi nga niya kanina, naka-33 balikbayan boxes already for the year. So that's almost 3 balikbayan boxes a month. At kasama din natin si Marcelino Wong na may-ari ng Sarangani Seaport, isang cargo forwarding company na based sa Maryland. Okay, Chris?
Ma'am Dora.
Iya.
Ma'am Dora, tanong po ako.
Okay.
So, sabi niyo 33 boxes have been sent to Philippines during the past year. Gaano ba kayo talaga kadalas magpadala at bakit balikbayan boxes sa halip na magpadala ng pera? Di ba mahirap yon, balikbayan boxes?
Kasi for me, it's not. Kasi, the other things that I sent to the Balikbayan box is, I sent also that they can sell it in the Philippines. Kahit nagsasend ako, yung mga pinapadala ko, like mga towel, mga bedsheet, maraming nag-o-order sa akin ng mga like yung mga Corel dito, they are ordered to me. That's why I always send Balikbayan also, and also the canned goods, the food, especially no pandemic, hindi sila nakaranas ng sila ay nawala ng pagkain kasi marami silang stock na pagkain sa bahay. Every box na may padala ko, they had a bag of rice.
Ma'am Dora, you send rice to the Philippines?
Everything. Rice, coffee, sugar, cooking oil, canned goods.
Pati cooking oil?
Yes, that's why. And then I send also money I send money every month because of the expenses of the house.
Right. So, what do you think is more convenient for you? Sending balikbayan boxes or money?
Both.
Okay, so you also send money.
Yeah, I always send money because the expenses of pambayad sa kuryente, pambayad sa tubig, kung ang aking mga ay may emergency, pag-tuition ng aking apo.
Okay.
Pero Ma'am Dora, bakit hindi po ba mas mahirap magpadala ng balikbayan box?
Para sa akin hindi. Kasi, para hindi na sila, kasi kung laging pera ipapadala, yung ipinapadala ko, hindi naman nila mabibili. Saka, yung binibili nila sa Pilipinas, iba kaysa kagaya ng mga corned beef, yung mga pasta, like mga it's different. Ang isang kanilang panlasa, sanay na rin sila. Kaya yung mga kapitbahay ko, maraming bumibili sa amin.
Okay. So, mayroon naman akong tanong kay Sir Marcel. May napansin po ba kayo na pagbabago sa pagpapadala ng mga balikbayan boxes ng mga Pilipino simula nung nagka-pandemic?
Actually, ang volume ng balikbayan box almost nag-double.
Wow. Really?
It supposedly on the opposite, baliktad. Dahil nga walang pera yung mga tao sa US, yung iba, dahil siyempre na layoff. Pero again, ang balikbayan box kasi, Minsan, kinukuha na lang nila sa kanilang pantry, some of that ayuda. Dahil nga, lalo na mag-lockdown sa Pilipinas, kahit na meron kang pera, hindi ka makalabas, wala kang mabili. Whereas itong Balikbayan, kahit na mag-lockdown, gaya ng mga truck ko, driver ko, basta may permit, pinapadeliver naman nila dahil essential. So, anuhin mo ang pera na wala ka namang mabili dahil sarado, delikado pang lumabas. Whereas ito, puro ka na lang sardinas. Kaya nga minsan, sasabihin nung shipper sa akin na, Mr. Wong, kailan kayo darating? Nagre-reklamo na yung anak ko. Puro na daw sardinas ang hininga nila. Dapat makarating na ang box. Dahil siyempre, nasa box, nandoon ang corned beef, nandoon ang spam, nandoon yung, siyempre, tama yung kay Sir Raymond kanina, nutritional, medyo okay din ang Balikbayan box dahil nga sa rason na sinasabi ng mga shipper, ang hininga daw ng kanilang mga anak ay puro na lang sardinas. Kailangan naman daw kahit na paano makatikim ng masarap. So, sunod-sunod ang padala talaga nila.
Pero Sir Marcel, sa panahon ng pandemic, hindi po ba nahirapang umabot sa Pilipinas ang mga boxes?
Oo.
Wala bang delay?
Merong delay. Pero and yet so far, tolerable din naman ang delay. Naintindihan din naman ng shipper. Nakakarating din naman. Na i-deliver ko din naman lahat. Kaya nga lang, dahil delay ang barko, pinabawi ko na lang sa mga tauhan ko, mga truck ko na sinasabihan ko mga personnel na dalian nyo pag-deliver para at least dali nga, dahil nga ang dami ng tawag na kung pwede makarating na, kung pwede makarating na. Yung ibang kliyente sinasabi medyo wala nang makain daw, nasa kapitbahay na, so kailangan makarating ng Kahon dahil nandoon lahat ng pagkain. So pagdating ng pagkain, at least pati kapitbahay makakain na.
Okay yun na. Sir Marcel, bago ang pandemic, di po ba mga 45 days ang shipping? Diba? So,
yes.
During the pandemic, ilang araw o linggo umaabot before it would reach the Philippines? Or yung
Door.
Actually, ang barko, madelay lang siya sa transshipment point ng at least a week or two. Ang problema lang, minsan, chain na yan kadena na ang delay Sa transshipment point, walang labor ang mga taga-barko. So, papunta sa mother vessel, going sa feeder vessel, may delay na mga a week or two. After that, pagdating sa custom, mahirap mag-clear dahil di ba sarado sila online, short ng tracker, may delay naman ng another linggo. Pagdating naman sa bodega ko, ang delay naman doon, wala kaming overtime. Diba merong curfew. So 8 o'clock lang, instead ng operation ko, triple shift, 24 hours, magkarga ng truck, hindi kami makakarga. Dahil nga ang curfew. Pangalawa, instead na dala ng truck mo, Metro Manila, 30 na kahon, ang mai-deliver mo lang, halos kalahati. Bakit? Dahil sa checkpoint, magpila ka, mag-check ka. So, ang tagal. Yun talaga ang dilema na delay. Papunta kang Ilocos, ilang baryo yan o syudad ang merong swab. Magsimula ka sa Tarlac, La Union, Ilocos Sur, Ilocos Norte, Abra. 12,000 yan kada isang stop. Pipila ka. May delay pero na i-deliver din naman namin.
Right.
Yun lang. Yun.
So, Mang Marcel, you're saying that lockdown policies in the Philippines is contributing to the delay in delivery?
Correct.
Okay.
Dahil, una, instead na dediretso ka na, hindi man, pipila ka para magpa-swab. Delay na yon. Di ba?
Right.
Maghintay ka ng swab result. Di ba delay na yon? Whereas kung walang swab, diretso-diretso ka lang. Yes, no, di ba?
Right.
Oh.
So kung
Ngayon, yung curfew, di ba nagko-contribute din yun ng delay sa amin? Dahil instead na mag-operate kami ng 24 hours kung 3-4 na container ang darating, hindi kami makapagtrabaho ng diretso-diretso dahil titigil kami sa curfew.
Right.
Delay din yun.
Mm-hmm. Does that make business difficult for you in terms of income, or is that affecting how business is doing for you? I know you're saying that the pandemic did not affect the volume, but the delays might have an impact also on the business of Balikbayan boxes. Can you tell us about that?
Actually, it did. Ang volume went up. So ang ibig sabihin, when the volume went up, income and money went up. Sana. Di ba? Mm-hmm. Sana. Dahil more boxes, maraming kahon, more volume, kung piso-piso ka lang, dollar-dollar ka lang kada kahon, instead na 1,000, naging 2,000. Pero, ang malaking problema dyan, malaki nga ang kinikita mo, malaki din naman ang lumalabas. Dahil sa rason na una, di ba, kada baryo, merong swab.
Mm-mm.
So, papunta ang truck ko ng Ilocos. Dati, kinukuha ko lang ang isang ruta ng 6 to 8 days. Ngayon na may pandemic, naging 10 to 15 days. Almost double. Pangalawa, sweldo ng driver mo, allowance ng driver mo, yung swab lang ang pinakamasakit. Dahil ilang dadaanan mo na swab. Pag swab mo ng La Union, kahit na wala kang drop dyan, pagpunta mo ng Ilocos Sur, swab ka ulit.
Wow.
That is another 12,000. So, nagdagdag ka na mga 60,000 on every trip.
Wow.
So, ang ibig sabihin, nag-triple nga ang volume mo, dumami nga ang kahon mo, dumami din naman ang gastos.
Right. The overhead went up. Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Overhead talaga went up. So,
right. Mang Marcel,
Mang
Marcel, tanong ko lang po. Kung ako po ay magpapadala ng Balikbayan box para sa Pasko, paabot pa ka?
Wala na. Wala na. Dati, yes, na yung transit time is only 26 days. Walang isang buwan. Ngayon, 60, 65, booking mo pala ngayon nasa 48 days na booking. Hindi pa kasama doon ang delay.
So, yung papadala ko ngayon, para na sa Valentine's.
Pasko, before Pasko namin ng mga incheck. Aabot yan.
Pasko ng incheck darating. Pasko ng incheck darating. Okay.
Pasko ng incheck, yes.
Okay. Sige po. So, si Ma'am Dora, meron po ba kayong, Ma'am Dora? Are you still... Yes. Ma'am Dora, meron po akong tanong. Do you have tips for our viewers who want to send Balikbayan boxes to the Philippines? Do you have some, things that we can do to make it easier, to make it, a more satisfying experience to send Balikbayan boxes? Ano po yung mga tip ninyo?
What do you mean tip? Na
yung mga paalala, mga advice sa mga nagpapadala ng Balikbayan box sa Pilipinas po.
Ay, that is para sa akin, ay yung pagpapadala ko ng Balikbayan box. Kasi nga, yung ibig ko sabihin, kasi ang gusto ko, yung natitikman ko rito, maranasan din ang pamilya ko sa Pilipinas. That's why I always sending them. And you know what? When I go to the Philippines for vacation, my luggage is 3 luggage. I have excess luggage. Everything is food, frozen, steak, salmon, everything that that is what I send when I go home to the Philippines. That's why for my advice, they always send Balikbayan to the Philippines to their family, so they can experience what they are, what we gonna have here.
So, Ma'am Dora, ano po yung paboritong tanggapin ng pamilya ninyo sa Pilipinas mula sa US?
Paboritong?
Tanggapin nila. Ano yung gusto nilang, ano nire-request nila sa'yo?
Ay, wala na lahat, alam ko na lahat. Like, yung mga, even nga mga chocolate, lahat ng chocolate, lahat nga, mga chocolate, yung mga cocoa, Swiss made, lahat sila, ang kanilang kinakain ng pamilya ko sa Pilipinas ay from here.
Kaya, Ma'am Dora, yung pong halimbawa, yung tsokolate, yung kending tsokolate, pwede ba ipadala sa Balikbayan box? Hindi ba yung matutunaw pagdating ng Pilipinas?
Hindi.
Ay, hindi. Talaga?
You know what? One time, that is mga 2012, they have one cargo shipment, that is RDR. Ay, nakaipon ako ng 10 balikbayan box na hindi ko na pick up gawa ng yung shipment company hindi nagbayad sa custom. So, naka-imbak daw yun sa custom. The main thing is, nabasa ko sa yung BPI, yung Department of Trade Industry, nakilala ko siya and everything. So, nag-uusap kami sa telepono, 1 taon ko bago nakuha yung 10 balikbayan box sa custom. Pinadala ko lang lahat ng mga requirements na kailangan. Yun ng ibang chocolate, expired na, pero kinain pa rin daw. No? Kasi inano na nila, in-unbox na nila doon sa custom. Kasi nga, ang iba nga ay kasi something, may padala rin akong may mga box na mayroong mga pang-cleaning. Ang iba noon ay pumutok na.
Oh, yung mga horror stories po yan ng mga nagpapadala ng balikbayan box. So, yun yung masama
everything that I have here, I send everything in the Philippines. Kasi kahit mga palilinis sa bahay.
Mang Marcel, how about you? Do you have any horror stories to tell about sending balikbayan boxes? Any problems with customs in the Philippines?
So far naman, sa ilang dekada ko na nagkakahon, hindi ko pa naman din naka-experience ng problema. It is just a matter of paano mo dadalhin yung negosyo. Siguro, nasa logo ko, experience the difference of experience. Si Ma'am Dora, kasi Ma'am Dora ba yun? Correct ba ako?
Ma'am Dora.
Nagpadala kasi siya sa RDR. Naming names na rin ito. Nag-name naman si Ma'am Dora. Sa, no offense, baguhan. And Romel.
Si Romel, yes.
Yeah. Si Romel kasi, galing sa akin yan.
Iba-ibang business kasi. Iba-ibang business practices. But marami talagang magandang experience din naman. The fact that you send things to the Philippines that will make your family experience, your positive experience here, isa yun sa mga nagtutulak sa Pilipinos na magpadala kahit na minsan nakakapagod magkahon, mag-ipon ng mga produkto para mapuno yung balikbayan box. So, medyo rin yun, matrabaho. Pero dahil Pilipino ay Pilipino, pinapadala pa rin natin, ano?
Yes.
May tanong lang ako kay Ma'am Dora tsaka kay Sir Marcel. Tanong ko lang. Ito, dati kasi doon nasa Pilipinas pa ako, nakakatanggap din ako ng balikbayan box mula sa mga kamag-anak ko. Ang isang hindi ko may paliwanag kung bakit pagbukas mo ng box, ang sarap ng amoy. Amoy pati yung hangin ng United States na kahon. So, ano po ba yun? Bakit ganun? Ano masasabi nyo nun?
I have experience that one of my balikbayan box, they have mice inside.
They have what?
So when they came to the Philippines, it's white. The mice is white already. That's why
the mice is white.
Yeah, the mice is white because they said American. They said the mice in America is white.
Ano pa, Mang Marcel?
Ang Pilipinas kasi, pag typical nanay, extension ng kanyang kusina ang Pilipinas. Actually, ang typical na nanay, anything na kinakain niya, maging tsokolate man, maging ano man yan, talagang I'm not so sure kung ano tawagin yan sa Tagalog, sa Bisaya. Yung heart mo broken ba pag nakita ko yung shipper ko na instead na siya ang kakain ay talagang ipinapasok niya sa box para kung ano ang sarap ng kinakain niya, ano yung kinakain niya, ma-experience ng anak, ng kapitbahay, ng kamag-anak sa Pilipinas. So yung Balikbayan box talaga para sa akin ay talagang hindi dapat mawala.
Yes.
Sa Pilipinas. Extension yan ng kusina ng nanay. Dahil corned beef, makakita siya ng bagong labat sa spam. Pero yun naman pala, made in China minsan, which is totoo naman yan. Pero pag nanggaling na sa US, ipadala sa Pilipinas, ang sarap. Okay na.
So, Mang Marcel, can you describe to us yung typical sender ng Balikbayan box for you? Are they mostly nanay, like you mentioned? Are they also tatay? Mga tatay din na nagtatrabaho dito. Can you describe to me yung mga clientele nyo?
Actually, depende siguro sa state at saka depende sa clientele ng forwarder. I am only talking on my behalf. Yung aking clientele, most of my clientele, 90% all nanays. Wala ako masyadong tatay. Kaya meron akong kliyente, meron akong shipper na dahil stricto ang amo, na ako na ang mamili sa Costco, ako na rin ang mag-back para sa kanya. From mantika, gaya kay Ate Dora, from mantika to bigas, to toyo na galing na sa Pilipinas, ipadala ko pa rin balik sa Pilipinas.
Yes.
Yun yan.
Nag-charge
yun
po kayo ng shopping fee?
Actually, nagbibigay naman sila ng tip, pang gasolina, pero favor na lang as a client. Dahil too much time wasted yan na mamalingke ka para sa kanila, ikaw pa magbalot. Pero, yun na nga, nakakano. Minsan naman, kahit na walang pera yung aking mga kliyente, kaya ang bibigat kayo ng Balikbayan box, which is legal naman yan, siguro yan, dahil kanila na yan, binigay na yan ng gobyerno sa kanila, yung mga ayuda ng mga matatanda, instead na para sa kanila, hindi nila nauubos, nilalagay nila sa kahon. So, hindi mo na kailangan ng pera para maglagay ng stuff goods sa kahon, yung pamasahe na lang. Dahil yung ayuda na binibigay sa'yo dito ng gobyerno, ang iba niyan, kinakain nila. Actually nga, meron akong kliyente, pinapasok na lahat sa kahon So, yun ang hirap ng Balikbayan box.
Right.
Pero
Pang Marcel,
nakakatulong
nasabi niyo po kanina na tumaas ang cost ng shipping, right? Hindi niyo po ba yan ipinapasa sa mga customer? Hindi po ba kayo nagtataas ng presyo?
So far, sa ngayon, dapat magtaas na. Ang problema kasi din sa Balikbayan box, yung competition on each and everyone is really that tight. Pag nakikiramdam lang itong mga competitor sa iyo din, tapos ikaw nakikiramdam ka rin sa competitor mo kung magtaas sila. Hindi ka pwedeng maunang magtaas dahil pag magtaas ka, yung mga tinatawag na co-loader shipper mo, ang $1 sa ngayon, napakalaki na yan sa shipper dahil taghirap So, huwag kang magtaas ng presyo basta-basta. I-absorb mo na lang muna kung makayanan mo. Kainin mo na lang muna yung nagtaas na cost kaysa iakyat mo na, iwanan ka ng mga kliyente. Pero ang sagot, yes, dapat magtaas na talaga kami. Dapat, yes.
Okay, so this is a discussion that actually begets another discussion. We can probably bring out, hopefully our guests will be available when we revisit this topic in the future. We want to wrap up our show tonight, but we would like to invite you to answer the second question for the $50 money remittance gift certificate. Question is, How many millions of Balikbayan boxes arrive in the Philippines every year? A, 5 million. B, 7 million. C, 10 million. D, 15 million. Please send your answers to info@pinoylife.net, where the first correct answer will entitle you to a $50 money remittance gift certificate from World Remit. Okay, Noel, wrap it up.
Oh yes, we'd like to thank our guests. Maraming salamat. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Jesh. Thank you, Dora. And thank you, Marcelino. But before we end our show, we'd like to call on our guests for tonight for their final thoughts. Say, parting words.
Let's start with Raymond.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Noe. Well, as a parting word, I think makikita naman natin yung story behind yung remittance. Nandun yung, again, resilience, human empathy. So hindi talaga maiiwanan ng mga migranteng Pilipino or overseas Filipinos ang mga nasa Pilipinas. So with that, thank you so much for inviting me and World Remit sa Usapang Fil.
Jesh, any shout-outs?
Yes. Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Noel. It was a pleasure, talking to you guys, and also Raymond, Marcelino. Thank you so much, and really enjoyed your company. My parting words is Sendwave is giving a giveaway. It's a bonus. It's you can go to the App Store, download Sendwave. It's a cute penguin logo. App with a cute penguin logo. You download the app and then use the code Mabuhay MABUHAY to get $10 free credit when you send money from US and Canada to the Philippines on your first transaction. So yeah, this is a first time offer, like a bonus. So just go grab it. We will be honored to take part in the future shows. Thank you so much, Cristina and Noel.
Thank you, Jesh.
Thank you, Jesh.
Okay, so that's $10 on downloading Sendwave app. Okay, Tita Dora, Ma'am Dora, message naman sa ating mga viewers.
Sorry.
Ano pong message ninyo? Malapit na ang Pasko.
Ang message ko kung ay it's much better na use it. But I send both remittance and remittance and Balikbayan. So thank you sa mga mayroon din akong natutunan ngayon about sa ating mga napag-usapan at mga napakinig ko sa inyo. So thank you very much for inviting me, and advance happy Thanksgiving. Thank you and good night.
Salamat din po.
Mang Marcel.
Nasabi na sila nila lahat. Thank you na lang very much. Yan lang ang akin. At saka, doon sa experience ni Ate Dora, dapat ma-learn niya yun na kung magpadala siya uli ng Balikbayan box, siguraduhin niya na at least kahit papano, kung tama ang Tagalog ko, ang papadala niya ay yung may tahid na.
Oo.
Dahil para sigurado talaga na meron na talagang track record ba para hindi na uli siya maloko. Dahil ang dali lang magsarado, magbukas ng kumpanya sa US. Magbukas siya ngayon, sarado mo after a year, itakbo mo pera ng shipper, kawawa naman.
Okay. Ganyan talaga. It's a free market, Marcel. So thank you very much. I know you're a very busy man with the trucking and the cargo forwarding business. So before we go, we'd like to invite everybody to watch Talk of the Town on November 18. That's for Thursday now at 8 p.m. That would be our Thanksgiving episode. Feel free to send us a 30-second video on what you are thankful for. And next week on Thursday, we have the encore presentation on Filipino migration on October 28, 8 p.m. So, at tambayan po ninyo.
We hope that we are able to provide you with information and insights about your perang padala and Balikbayan boxes. If you have comments, suggestions, questions, and topics that you want us to talk about, let us know. Feel free to send them to us at info@pinoylife.net. Like our Facebook page by going to facebook.com/pinoylife.net. Don't forget the .net. Invite your family and friends to watch our next episode with you. At salamat sa suporta ng World Remit. With World Remit, your first 3 transactions are free. Just use the coupon code 3FREE, 3 and then the word free, F-R-E-E. Chris?
Yes, and thank you to Sendway for that $10 gift for our viewers. So with that, magpapaalam na po kami sa susunod na Usapang Fil. Antabayanan po ninyo. And happy Thanksgiving in advance.
Salamat at ingat.